morning. I see people are still coming in, so that's good news. Everybody enjoyed dinner and yesterday night, I suppose. So we started with a short delay, but don't worry, we don't take time away from the sessions, we'll take it away from the... So today I think we have quite an interesting session. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Robert Dender, working for Endesa in the smart metering rollout project as coordinator. And I'm happy to chair this session. I think it's quite interesting today. We speak here about transformation of the company's transformational processes towards smart grids and how technology can work as a catalyst for that. And I think we cover quite a good range of different technologies and different aspects. So we have quite a tight program. So what we'll do is after each session just take at most 1 or 2 short questions, because then later on at 12 we have a Q&A session with all the speakers, so you can come back and also dig a little bit deeper into the details of each presentation. So let me introduce our first speaker, Marina Lombardi, who is a Network Technologies Project Manager at Enel Distribuzione in Italy. And Marina will speak about energy efficiency through Enel Smart Info. Marina, please.
Thank you, Robert, and good morning. Okay, so just a brief introduction regarding the company. Enel Distribuzione is part of the Enel Group. Enel Group is the largest utility in Italy and the second in Europe by installed capacity. We are across 40 countries in the world. And Enel Distribuzione is the company in charge of the distribution service, so distribution of electricity and gas to users, and the metering service. And in Italy we have around 31.5 million customers. Since 2006, we completed the rollout of the smart meters. So this means that all the 30 million users have a smart meter installed. And this brought some immediate benefits to them. For example, one of these is the fact that their invoices can be based on the actual consumption. Another benefit is the possibility to manage quite quickly the contract, because this can be done remotely by the central system. Thanks to this project also, it has been possible to launch time of use tariffs. So tariffs different according to the time of the day. And you can see on the slide some examples of the first tariffs that were proposed also by Enel before the liberalization. And of course, this provides more information to customers, more than a traditional meter, because, for example, you see there is one button on the smart meter, you click on it, and on the display you will be able to see some information you cannot see on the traditional meter. For example, the power, or you are engaging in that moment, or for example, the consumption you have had since the last invoice. But of course, this display is rather limited, as not a graphical user interface, as not a possibility to view any load profile, for example. And also, these meters are often, let me say, mostly installed at the basement of great buildings, and sometimes they are in dark rooms where people don't like to go, and sometimes it's difficult to understand which is your own meter with respect to the others of the other people living in the building. So if we want to enable active participation of consumers, we know that we need to do a step forward. And this step forward is can be done through this technology we have developed, which is Enel Smart Info. And this device can be plugged into one of the electricity sockets in the consumer premises, and it is associated by the central system univocally to your own smart meter, and makes consumption and or generation data available to the consumer. And now this device is being subject of a pilot in Italy. You can see in the gray region in the map of the Italy map, that is that will be the focus of my presentation today. I will talk to you about how it is going there. And let me tell you that the region where this pilot is ongoing is a small region, quiet region in Italy. Also, most of the Italian sometimes don't know it very well. So this is a characteristics of this pilot. In fact, our objective is to provide this device to around 8,000 families living in 14 small towns across that region. These towns are very nice, but are rather small. And you can see from the pictures that any of these towns has, for example, an historical church, an historical castle. So they are very nice, but they have two important characteristics that are useful to be taken into account when you launch a pilot such this. One is that we are in the mountains, so they're a bit cold, and so in the winter it can be not easy to reach these places. And another is that the average age of people living in these places is quite high. And so I think this is a very important thing for who develops technology, because it means that you need to take into account the fact that this technology must be friendly enough to reach also this kind of people. And another aspect that we are taking into account is that sometimes in these places the telecommunication is not so advanced. For example, in not all the places ADSL is present, so this is an important factor to be taken into account. Okay, the kit we provide to people is composed of these 4 devices. The first one, of course, is the Smart Info, and we provide also a display that is touchscreen, colorful. You can see on the right. We provide, and we have developed also the software running on PCs, and we call it Smart Info Manager, and we have developed also an application for who own smartphones. So let's say that with these different technologies and software, we cover different types of people. So from the most basic one, maybe using just the display, to the most advanced and curious ones, looking at PC or at smartphone. And now the functionalities offered by this kit. If we look at the display, you can see here an example of the graphical user interface of the first page you can see when you look at the display. This display is used when you want to have a very quick idea of how your consumption is going. So you can see there is the indication of the power that is committed in the moment you are looking at the display, and you can have very quickly the information about your consumption, how much is your consumption during the day, during the week, and during the month. And very quickly also there is the information below regarding which time bands you are in, because most of our customers in Italy are have a time band tariff now. Some of them really, I've been speaking with them to promote this pilot, and some of them, they don't know, they even don't know they have these time bands or when they're applied. So this is a very good information for them, because in this way they know in which time band they are, if this is the most expensive or not, and they also know at what time the next time band will occur. And also there are these, sorry, I've lost my, anyway, there are the buttons on the right where that give you access to the load profile across the day, across the month, across the week. This display is also used in order to can provide you alarms. For example, if you have set a threshold, an objective for your consumption, this display can give you a notification when you are about to reach this goal. Or, for example, can alert you when you are about to reach the contractual power limit. If you want to make more sophisticated analysis, there is another, you can use the application for PC, but it is stuck. So, no. So sorry, okay, yeah, there it is. So this application, this software, is for people willing to perform more detailed analysis. You have higher resolution of your load profiles, and you can also have reporting functionalities using this software. And finally, there is the application for mobiles. So if you want to bring with you the data regarding your consumption when you are outside home, or you want to look at what is happening at your home, you can use this application. Now, I will briefly speak to you regarding what has been and what is our plan for consumers' involvement, because this is one of the key aspects when you roll out such kind of programs. So we started 1 year ago preparing all things, and then starting from June during July, August and September, we have started the first phase of this consumers involvement plan, which was has objective, firstly, knowing the territory, knowing the people, knowing the life there, and getting known by them. And this is very important and preliminary to any other activities. And to do this, what we first did was to meet mayors, institutions, and consumers associations. And this was important in order to present them the project and to get their support in order to meet citizens and launch this initiative. And for example, we got from them indication on local events we could take part and use these events in order to be known by people and start promoting the pilot. And we got also some nice feedbacks, some nice sentences from them. For example, they were very happy. We were launching this program in such small towns. They have sometimes the feeling they are a bit forgotten by the rest of Italy, but so they were quite happy of this, and they were concerned that our target of 8,000 kits is too small. But they also said to us that we may be too advanced, and this is actually something I have also verified participating to the local events and celebration that took place during the summer, because we met people, and really people mostly don't know anything about energy market structure, for example, and also about their energy consumption. So there is a great room for improvement and for empowerment of consumers in this field. By the way, thanks to these events, we have collected the first 200 volunteers, and we are quite happy of this. And things that surprised us a bit was that young families with children saw in this kind of technology an educational scope for their children, and this was quite unexpected from us. From August to October, so it is still ongoing, we launched the friendly user test. So this is a pre-trial phase where we have involved friendly users. It means employees, local employees, or friends, or let's say friends of these employees. And now we have 60 people that are trying this technology. They use this technology, and we are interacting with them on a regular basis in order to collect their feedback on how the solution is going, to get their suggestions, to know if there is any last bug any last minute bug we couldn't identify, and how they are using the kit, which of the element is the most used. And also, of course, the degree of satisfaction. We started with a training day, a full training day for them, and this because we expected from them a higher involvement than with respect to the other customers, because they are the first tester. And we are about to organize a feedback workshop where we statistically collect all the feedback coming from them in order to tune the technology before the large-scale deployment, and also to collect ideas for further improvements, because this is also very important. Some of the feedbacks at the beginning, of course, the display is the most used because it's the most quick solution and access to data. We have a certain amount of people there who is already producing their electricity at home. And these people, so they are generally called prosumers, these are the most active. Also in looking at this technology and studying how it works and wanting more information and more detailed analysis of their consumption and their production. People find it very useful to be informed about time bands, and also the information regarding the real power generates a lot of curiosity in people. For example, they found interesting looking at it in order to understand the behavior of the different appliances, and also sometimes there is in Italy usually we have a 3 kilowatt contracted power. But there is also someone who has higher contracts. And so they look at it because they want to understand if the size of their contract is the right one, or they could save money going lower. Starting from the next month until December 2013, we will make the large-scale deployments. And we will start organizing one day per each of the small town, and in these days we will have sessions, time slots, where we will explain all the functionalities of the kit, and we will also deliver the kit to people. And then the field test, in this sense, will be running fully, and it will run until December 2014. So we will have at least 1 year period observation, and this will be very important. We will, the results of this pilot test will be reported also to the Italian regulatory authority, which is also promoting this pilot through special incentives. And so it will be very important to take further decision on how to provide, and if to provide, it is useful to provide this technology in order to have a more efficient behavior from people. So let's say that with this project we are able to start the path towards active consumers, because we provide people the possibility to monitor their consumption. So we are empowering them. But of course there are other steps that are to be made towards real active consumers. One of these steps is the possibility to control the demand, the electricity demand inside house, to have smart appliances, smart plugs and algorithms to optimize the consumption of all these. And another step is the interaction also with third parties, proposing new services, active demand services, as for example aggregators. On our side, as distributors, we are developing the enabling framework to make all this possible. And this is really quite challenging, but it is also a very nice experience. And so I thank you for the attention, and I invite you to visit, if you are curious, to visit the website we have developed for this pilot. It is in Italian, but you will have an idea of how the things are going on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Marina. Are there any questions? I think we can